What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. Chuck Silver and DFS Jayhawk here with Occupy Fantasy to bring you strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. I'll start by saying I think this is probably the worst slate I can remember of the entire season. I hate it. I'm usually on board with, if the whole field is having difficulty, we're probably going to navigate it better, but it's still so random. There's a lot of variance going on right now, and we have some injury news that we're waiting on news for later. We'll get into that. Jayhawk, how we doing? This is our last stream together of the regular season.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. Very fun season here at Occupy. It's coming to a close, but we got a couple crazy slates to end the year. So excited to break this last one down with you, and let's go ship a tournament tonight for our last stream together.
Yeah, man, we got a unicorn in here tonight. I hope so, because it's been tough the last few days. We went kind of on a little heater, and then we went on a massive cold streak. So let's get back on board. Landon, good to see you. Beantown, happy weekend. Heath's into Discord, fellas. He's been posting some wins. Get in there with Heath. Courtney, what's up, man? And then Jose, always coming hot out the gate. What team do I like the most? I can tell you the team I have most exposure to right now is Memphis. Do you have a different answer, Jayhawk?
No, I was gonna say Memphis too. So perfect.
Yeah, like this will change, but just guys that I'm getting to more than the field: Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, Jaron Jackson, Desmond Bain, Santi Aldama, Scottie Pippen. Oh, I'm under on Scottie Pippen actually, and then I'm with the field on Ja. But we'll get into that. The model really likes JJJ and Bain today. If we sort by value, we got JJJ and Bain. Their prices in the 7Ks mixed in with all the value guys. Other mid-range guys that really stand out today: Norman Powell, and then I think my favorite tournament play today is Jalen Duren. I mentioned yesterday I think the industry is under projecting him by like 5-6 minutes. I happen to be right, but he also had a monster game, put up like whatever fantasy points he did. Industry still under projecting him today, 31 and a half minutes. The difference is Isaiah Stewart's back, and so it's whatever. And then Jayhawk, you mentioned Jalen Duren caught a Q tag when the stream was starting, right?
Yeah, little late day downgrade. Eileen, he probably misses, but we'll have to monitor that news.
And then, yeah, with Isaiah Stewart back in the lineup, they're not going to play him one for one. They should share the court, but maybe we can't project Jalen Duren for the 36 minutes. But either way, at 31 and a half, the model loves him today. He's one of the top plays. I mean, just sorting by value, he is the best mid-range play, according to the model today, 7,300. And I don't know, some other guys that stand out. Zubac, probably our favorite play from the Clippers, right?
Yeah, Zubac, I was getting some Harden too, but yeah, for mid tier, definitely Zubac.
No, Harden's down here too. Yeah, he's still elite value on DK, even at this 9,800 price. Awesome OF index. I'm pretty sure we have Kawhi not in the model though, so keep that in mind. What was your lean on Kawhi tonight?
So you mentioned he played around 20 minutes, but I think more likely maybe sits here. But again, I think it's probably closer to 50-50 with him.
Yeah, he doesn't play back to backs. He played 24 yesterday. I thought he played a back to back this season at some point, but maybe he didn't. But I don't know, 24 minutes, it's kind of a light load. Dallas isn't like a team that they need him against. They still want to win games. It's a really tight race in the West from the 3rd seed to the 8th seed, so teams still want to win games. This is very important for the guys that aren't tanking. I don't know. Model has him out, so we're going to talk about him as if he doesn't play, which is going to get kind of weird if he ends up playing, but we'll deal with that when we get to that last game. Are we saving roster spots from the late game? Are you saving roster spots for the late game, Jayhawk?
Um, which one is the late game again? Is it?
I guess Dallas Clippers. Yeah, it starts 2.5 hours later than the rest.
Yeah, I think definitely there's a bunch of interesting plays. We mentioned Harden, Powell, Zubac. I even think guys like Christine AD are in play as well. So I definitely think so.
Yeah, let's talk about this game first. We're not going to get the Kawhi news during the stream anyway, but this is actually that's a really good question, Jose. I'm glad you said that first because I am getting a decent amount of exposure, but it's to the cheap guys: Chris Dunn, Bogdanovich, Max Christie. I'm getting Spencer Dinwiddie and then sprinkles of AD, James Harden, and Zubac. And so let's start with the Dallas side. What were you getting from there? Who are you taking a closer look at?
Yeah, so first of all, with AD, I think he's fine at his ownership. Obviously, coming off that huge spike game against the Hawks the other night, I think he looks fine at 14%. I wasn't getting a bunch, but definitely a good price at that ownership. Definitely a good play at that ownership. And then Dinwiddie, I wanted to hear your take. He seems a little bit questionable, chalk, at his ownership in this matchup, but I'm kind of just neutral there. And then I do like Max Christie for value. Shooting guard is not great tonight on DraftKings, so mixing in some Christie.
Jayhawk, you haven't been watching the streams, man. I'm fully on board with Spencer Dinwiddie lately. Just his usage is high, and the main thing is it seems like Jason Kidd trusts him to play minutes. Because my problem before with him was I thought he had the fear of getting benched on most nights. Right now, I don't think he does. Jaden Hardy's doubtful today, and not that he matters too much. I've mentioned I don't think Jason Kidd likes him anyway. Spencer Dinwiddie, the 20 and 28% does sound kind of high, but he is elite value on both sites. 9.2 OF index at the price is really strong. I think he's a really good play today. I'm not sure how that's going to adjust with AD out. I'd need to see what the model does, but AD is probable. He was kind of a late out yesterday, so I think that he should be good to go today. Also, just in case, Daniel Gafford's questionable, Derek Lively's probable. And so if I don't know what their minutes are going to look like, though, because they're both kind of coming back from injury. Did you have anything on those two guys?
Yeah, I think they've always been more inclined to play Lively when they can, at least in my opinion. So I was kind of projecting Lively a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't have like a huge stand on that.
The model's okay getting to him over on FanDuel, even projected for only 19 minutes. It's tough to project him for any more. But 13 FanDuel value at 1%, 4,700. This is a possible, I don't know, punt, I guess, just based on how many minutes we're expecting. But Max Christie, 14.1 DK value, 3,400 at 19% ownership. I think Max Christie is not great in his role on Dallas, but did you feel differently?
I think he's just kind of a lower on value play that I'd like to mix in here. It's not like a play I'm jamming, but if he lands on my build, I'm kind of just mixing him in.
Yeah, I was getting a ton because of the salary just makes lineups work, and he's not projected that poorly. But I'd like to try to get away. It just we haven't projected for 26 and a half minutes today. He played 34 yesterday without AD. He started the second half because Klay Thompson decided he wasn't feeling well, and so that's where these minutes came from. Other than that game, 25, I mean, he was getting 29, 31. AD wasn't back yet. And so I think these are kind of a high minutes projection. So let's take off a couple, just reduce it by, say, 10%, take off 2.6 minutes. We can reduce this by 10%. Now he's at 12.7 DK value. It's still good, not great. And then FanDuel value kind of just falls off the map. But I'm going to have that exposure. Maybe something changes and I can just swap it to, like I mentioned, Bogdanovich or Chris Dunn on the other side, or we find something earlier and we don't even have to deal with it.
Yeah, I like that. There's definitely a bunch of pivots off him in tournaments.
And then, assuming AD is in, did you have any interest in Najee Marshall or PJ Washington? They both have single digit value on DraftKings.
Yeah, so I wasn't getting any initially, but they're both like 1% owned. I would probably lean Najee between the two, but I wasn't getting much of either. How about you?
They're so far away from making it into my exposures if Anthony Davis is in. I mean, model just doesn't like them. They're both projected for solid minutes too, so I don't see what kind of boost they could get. If I was to end up with a couple percent, I guess I don't hate it. I mean, it's a 4-game slate, and so anyone who's not pulling ownership that you see something in, just go ahead and mix them into your exposures. Other side, though, the Clippers. So it's weird because I built with Kawhi in, but the model has Kawhi out. So how did you handle this, Jayhawk?
Yeah, so with Kawhi likely sitting, especially with the model, assuming that here, I think
I don't think it's likely, though.
you
Like you
don't think
said,
it's
no, I think it's a 50-50. They would have ruled him out already. I think if it was likely, I lean towards he plays.
okay. Yeah, so even if he plays there, I think both Harden and Zubac are both in play. Um, Probably both go down in the model a little bit if he does play here. So I think my favorite out of the bunch here, if Kawhi plays, would probably be James Harden at his ownership. But yeah, I think Norman Powell, we touched on him earlier, good ownership projection, fits the shooting guard build. So like mixing in Powell, and then you mentioned Bogdanovich and Derek Jones for cheap could also benefit as well, potentially without Kawhi. So I think there's a bunch of interesting plays here.
I didn't mention Derek Jones, but I'm on board. The model loves him. I'm gonna have to bump him up to get some. Just behind Chris Dunn for DK value. This is with Kawhi out, 5% ownership. This ownership should come up if Kawhi is out and ends up. Actually, is this what the model thinks the ownership is with Kawhi out? Huh? Because Kawhi's not in here. I would expect it to be higher though, because at 3,500, assuming that he starts, he's going to be a pretty solid play that maybe the field can't get to if they built with Kawhi in.
Yeah, especially at that ownership for sure.
And this Bogdan value, this is for sure just based on Kawhi not being in too, because we would never have him this high with a Kawhi in 27 minutes. Norman Powell, 37 with no Kawhi sounds great. Ben Simmons, I don't hate it at 2 and 4%. The model is telling us we can take shots. Like, yeah, he's the fifth ranked guy on his team, but 14.9 DK value overall. Ben Simmons is very good today. 3,200. If the field's not going to get there, I think this is one of the players that could make a difference on this slate if Kawhi misses. It sucks because he's center only on DraftKings, but we can work with that. And then Zubac, I mean, he is elite value on both sides, 26 and 16%. Were you, like, how many lineups were you making today, Jayhawk?
Just my typical like 20 max. I was probably trying to get around that ownership. Obviously, I'll get more if Kawhi actually does sit here, but as of right now, just trying to match that.
And then Harden also, like, he's down at the bottom for his team, but this is elite value on both sides, for especially considering how expensive he is at 17 and 24% with no Kawhi. I mean, this is a spot that we should get to. The Clippers look really good. I know Jose asked, and I said I'm getting more to the Memphis Grizzlies, but I'm going to have to bump up these Clippers guys if Kawhi doesn't sit. The thing that sucks is if Kawhi ends up playing, the swaps are going to be a little weird because then we're just going to be too exposed to that game. And so I'd say just be careful. But I guess I built with Kawhi in, and I still bumped guys like Chris Dunn, and I guess that's kind of it. Chris Dunn is the main one for me if Kawhi plays.
Yeah, I like that.
Court, yeah, you got to stick to the process, man. I was talking about in the Discord because a lot of guys were asking about how many low-owned players should we play in a lineup. Jayhawk, do you have a good answer for that?
Yeah, so typically I like to go 1 to 2. Shout out to you. Stephon Castle was my main guy last slate. Nuked that super low ownership, but just whenever you play a lot of chalk guys, just mix in 1 to 2 in your main builds. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, the answer I gave was, so how do we use the model, right? Let's say you're hand building. Sort by value, plug in the guys who are near the top that are projected for ownership, find guys that stand out in the mid-range price, like Jalen Duren or Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, plug those guys in, and then whatever salary you have left, plug in your stud, right? If your stud's low owned, you're already good. I don't think you need to do anything else. But if not, go back and maybe find a pivot. Like, I don't know if you're hand building one lineup, you're going to find that Shaden Sharp to Stephon Castle pivot. It's almost impossible to do if you're only playing one lineup. But stuff like that where maybe Zach Edey's 43% owned at the center position, Adam Bona's 20. Like, this is a possible pivot you could make to get a slightly lower owned guy, or, you know, a deep pivot like Norman Powell off of whoever here. It's kind of weird because the price is different, but just start your lineup, plug in the chalky guys that everyone's playing that the model likes, and then make your pivot after and see how the lineup looks. Like, I don't force in low owned guys. The model gives us low owned guys naturally every single day anyway.
Yeah, for sure. DK value, we typically see a lot of guys up top with low ownership.
See a question about Gobert. Just take a look at centers overall on DK. It looks like the model is going to lean towards value centers again. Zach Edey, Adam Bona. Duren's a little more expensive, but Stewart, Ben Simmons, then back up to JJJ, Brook Lopez, Zubac. Gobert's down here. I think he's fine. Like, he's the 10th rated center on the slate on DK by value, but he's been playing phenomenal. 16% ownership's higher than we're used to. 6,700 price is definitely coming up, but against Philadelphia, I think it's a fine spot.
Yeah, are you worried about his minutes potentially if that game gets out of hand at 16 points? Would you worry about just like potential second half minutes?
I don't think I've made any adjustments for a blowout all season.
Okay.
I just don't care. Because it's like, if it's a 16-point game with 4 minutes left, assuming it wasn't like 30 points right before that, Ant Edwards. I mean, Rudy Gobert could get benched. We've seen it. It's not often, but like, the starters are still going to be on the court, I think. I don't think any of these games, I mean, they could all blow out, but I'm not planning for it.
Yeah, no, I think that's valid. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Kawhi was a late Q tag. Love Harden and Big Z. Yeah, I mean, it's really strong if you have that set up perfectly with Kawhi not in your exposures and we get that news late. Good to see you, Ben. You like Ant? Yeah, I mean, we have to like any pay up today. We're going to have the value. We have to pay for somebody. AD hasn't hit 30 minutes. Nope. And like, the model said he was terrible the other day. The model says he sucks again today, but Anthony Davis, young here. It's not center. Power forward only on DraftKings. I guess it makes sense, but like, single digit value on FanDuel, 11.0 on DK, 10.3 OF index for the price is not good. We haven't projected for 31. I don't even know if we can project him for 31. Knock a minute off of this. I thought his minutes limit was 28. He played 30 in the last game. It's just he's another guy. We saw Jaw do it, I think, the most this season, where they just put up 50 plus in like 25 minutes. And yeah, apparently Anthony Davis is definitely capable. Against the Clippers, I don't love it, but I'm not going to tell you not to play him like I did last time. I'll just say the model thinks he's probably one of the less good payups.
Yep. And you mentioned it's a tough spot here against Zubac for 80.
Yeah, Landon, you're right though. He doesn't need 30 to smash. We just saw him do it. Zach Edey, top center on the model today. He's been starting, and so I guess we're just going to hope for the minutes. Let's talk about that first game. We'll jump back to the beginning of the schedule. Memphis. Zach Edey, where does he land on your priorities at center today?
Yeah. So out of all the good center plays we have today, I think Edey's probably my favorite overall. Been playing this guy the past couple of slates. 4,700, good price point. I think he looks like probably my favorite center play on the slate here, at least on
Assuming he's starting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been getting pretty good minutes. We have him projected for 27.5. It's probably fair. He's pulling the ownership, but it's not a terrible matchup against Detroit. Detroit's tough. I don't think they're a cakewalk, but yeah, Zach Edey, currently my highest exposed player. You cool with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Assuming he starts, like you mentioned.
Nice. That big game was against Atlanta. They sucked defensively. I mean, yeah, but it's some players transcend defense, right? Brandon Williams? I thought he was out. Brandon Williams. Pretty sure Brandon Williams is out for Dallas.
Yeah, he wasn't really projecting well for me at all. Maybe that's why I wasn't getting a bunch.
No, like he projects for 0 because he's not playing today.
Is he actually not playing? Okay, yeah. There you go.
Unless my information's wrong. Sprinkle in the 1%ers. If you find a 1% play that you think something could happen, yeah, sprinkle them in today. It's a 4-game slate. But also don't force in the low-owned play. Just make good lineups. Don't sabotage your lineup trying to find that key piece that probably doesn't exist today. I have a ringing noise. I'm sorry, Andrew. Yeah, Power told me yesterday I looked it up. I can go get like an electromagnetic scanner for like $13. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you the results next week or something when I figure that out. Thank you for still being here and dealing with that, though. I apologize. Bogdanovich or Dunn? Model has Dunn, but Bogdanovich is not too far behind him. I personally just prefer Dunn more, but if Kawhi's out and Bogdanovich starts, then that would be a pretty good one. I don't know if he starts every time that Kawhi's out, though.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Bogdanovich here, but I think it's pretty close for me.
Yeah, I mean, the model has it as a coin flip. So I guess just whichever, if you need a point guard, Dunn. If you need a small forward, Bogdanovich. 1% Simmons will do. Assuming Kawhi's out, I like it at 1%. He's basically min-price. My computer's a giant electromagnetic field. I mean, my whole desk has like 12 devices and 17 cords. Yeah, I'll try and fix it, fellas. Who's a must-have on DraftKings, Jayhawk?
Besides Zach Edey, I'm going to say Giannis as of right now.
Giannis is my second highest owned guy. We hate the matchup against Miami, but there's no other payups that really compare to Giannis today.
Yeah.
Don, boys. Thoughts on Bona versus Edey? Again, the model has it as a coin flip. Edey gets the slight edge. With this ownership difference, though, Bona at half versus Edey, we can probably get a little bit more on Bona. I still have a ton of Edey, though. It's probably great to play them both together, too.
Yeah, definitely good to play both together. The one thing I did want to note, not a great matchup, but he produced last game in a bad matchup, so I'm not too worried.
Is fading Giannis today a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea, but it's an idea if you want to. Yeah, the ownership actually doesn't seem too bad, despite how bad the matchup is. It's just, I said it before, if Giannis puts up the 80, whatever, yeah, you're going to have him. But there are situations where the slate plays out and Giannis puts up, say, like 55, which would be a disappointment for his price, but he's the highest scorer on the slate. You just need the raw points because we have value today that's going to go off. That should have good games anyway. So, I don't know. He's top of the model. I'm not going to say to fade him. These other guys are showing up as better points per dollar value, though. So if you mix in more of these guys, then yeah, I could see you getting away from Giannis, no problem. It gets a little weirder, though, if Kawhi's out, though, right?
Yeah, I think if Kawhi sits, there'd be probably more, like if both Harden and Zubac get there, maybe you go like a Jaren Jackson and Bane as well. There could definitely be possibilities he could miss.
Okay, nice. I was actually thinking about the other side. I'm glad you said that, though, because I was thinking, like, if Kawhi's out, we have more value in the Clippers game, meaning, man, I wish I spent more salary earlier, but you make a good point, too. Like, it's more usage for Harden and Zubac, so I could go either way. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I just don't want to be wrong today. I'm playing a ton of Giannis though, so take
Yeah.
that as you will. Minutes supposed to increase today for AD. All right, so leave him at the 31 minutes. It's probably fine. DFS buddy, Don, you're my DFS buddy. Nah has looked good. Yeah, he got extra minutes. Gobert fouled out a couple games ago, and then Mike Conley's been getting benched terrible. Dante DiVincenzo's back today. He's been terrible too. I don't get this 21% ownership. Model approved on DK though. If you need that 3,600 value piece, were you getting to Nikhil a lot?
I was kind of neutral to him. I wasn't getting a bunch. Maybe you can persuade me a different way, but yeah, 4K flat. He has looked good. I will say he had that huge game against Denver a couple nights ago. I'd be fine with it. I wasn't getting a bunch. Did you have a different take here?
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of neutral. I don't dislike him. Getting a pretty decent chunk though. I guess I'm about with the field. I could see that going either way. So he played 28 last game. He played. Don't look at this 45-minute game that went to double overtime, right? And like I
Yeah.
said, Gobert fouled out in regulation. But 28, 27 minutes. We have him for 23 and a half. Model likes him at 13. If you think he's going to play a couple more minutes, think it's probably okay to give it to him, and he's going to look really good on the model. I will mention Conley is still going to rank out higher at a slightly higher price, a little bit less ownership. He hasn't been great, so people aren't as excited about him. That's a possible pivot. I mean, we're already on Minnesota. Was this the next game anyway? I mean, we need to talk about Detroit. Let's talk about Detroit real quick, and then we'll come back to Minnesota. Let's finish out that first game. All over the place today. I don't know, there's only 4 games on the slate. We could talk about the slate as a whole a little bit more. With Detroit, though, were you expecting Cade to play, and how are you handling that?
Yeah. So assuming we don't get a like last second downgrade for Cade today, I do expect him to play here. Probable tag for Cade, so Cade should play here, and then pretty much is going to kind of come down to if Durham plays for me. Tobias did get ruled out as well here for Detroit, so I think Stewart and Duran probably look like my favorite plays here overall, assuming they both play here. And then after that, I think Cade's fine. I do much prefer like Harden, Hero, Tata. How about you?
Yeah, I don't mind taking shots on Cade. The price sucks, and like I said, so he's down to 35 and a half minutes. I think this was higher at the beginning of the stream when we looked at it, but can he play 36 coming back from an injury? Maybe. I love playing guys against Memphis, and Cade is the best player in this game, period. So he's kind of model approved. I'm not going to try to get away from him, but 24% on FanDuel does feel a little bit heavy. But model likes him. I love Jalen Duren, but with that late Q tag, I'm going to kind of assume he just sits now. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm going to make any adjustments. So this is the first game. We should have the news, like I guess right when the stream is going to end. We'll get that starting lineup. Uh, so let's just say everyone is in. I'm also getting a few shares of Asar Thompson. I saw someone mention him in the chat. He's still showing up as a good value. Malik Beasley, borderline elite, and then Tim Hardaway, actually the strongest value on the team, 14, 15%. This guy's been playing out of his mind, and it just no one wants to play him. I don't want to play him. Do you want to play him?
No, I haven't played this guy much all year. He had that huge game, I think, with Kate out a couple
He
of
had
games ago.
4.
Yeah. Oh, 4-2. Yeah.
He's had 4 games, like 4 really
Oh,
good
4.
games in a row,
Yeah.
playing 30 plus minutes a game.
I just, I don't know, man. Is he going to keep producing? Maybe he will. I don't know. I don't know if I can click him. How about you?
I'll say I built with Caden. I'm getting a few percent of Tim Hardaway. I will bump him up if we get some late news that Cade gets ruled out, and then I'd also bump up Malik Beasley in that case. Tobias Harris got ruled out, just in case you guys missed that too. So there's some room. Don't mind maybe bumping a SAR a little bit more to get a little more. The model really likes him. 9.0 off index at the price is pretty strong. And I don't know, ownership might seem high on FanDuel, but he's probably just a guy that really makes lineups easy.
Yep. I'm fine with Azar at his ownership. I did much prefer him last night, though, with Kate out.
Yeah, the main thing is Tobias is out. So I think Tobias being out leads to more minutes for Asar. And then I will just mention Fontecchio's name. He's min price, 2% owned. It's possible he plays himself into a few extra minutes too, since they're down 1.
Yep.
We already started talking about Minnesota a little bit, but was there anything else you wanted to add?
I think Ant is fine. Again, 16-point spread. I think he's still fine. Good matchup here. Lower total, but pretty good spot. So probably mainly just Ants for Minnesota besides the other guys we talked about.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good here. They're just mix-ins. I don't think anyone's a priority. I am getting like decent exposure though to most of the guys here. It's a 4 game slate. We're gonna get exposure to mostly everyone if you're playing a lot of lineups. Uh, all right, so we're done with Minnesota. I forgot to talk about Isaiah Stewart. So he's really good on the model. Strong value on DK at 3,300 center only, pulling 14% ownership. What do you think about him?
Yeah, so he's going to look even better during sits, but even if he plays here, really cheap and a really good matchup. So love beef stew on both sides, Isaiah Stewart.
See, I am the sorry guys, my hat is so tight. I don't usually wear this hat. It's hurting my head. Do we like Fontecchio or Wells more at 3,100? Pretty sure Wells is the number one play on the model. Projected for 27 minutes now. Is Wells the best play of the day? No, he's not. We should be playing him. Model likes him though. And then Fontecchio is like half this value. Fontecchio, like, maybe I shouldn't have said his name. I said him just so you don't forget him. Like, he is a very deep play. Definitely prioritize Jalen Wells.
For sure, Jalen Wells, yeah.
Is Hardaway going to keep producing like this? He's overperforming, but I don't know. Hardaway didn't suck earlier in his career. He wasn't what we were hoping he was going to be, but I mean, this is kind of what we were hoping he was going to be, I guess. And you think Harrow plays, right?
Oh man, I truly don't know. I think he's probably a 50-50 for me because aren't they on a back-to-back, the Heat? So kind of worried he might rest. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't have a lean there. Yeah, I don't know. If he's in, I know I like getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then let's go Castleton. Thoughts on Castleton as a cheap punt? It's on Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was not getting there at all. It's a 16-point spread, but I still feel like that's still kind of a shot in the dark on this site.
So I'll say play everyone. It's a 4 game slate. If you see a reason to get a few percent in your exposures, I think it's fine. No one's going to get there today. Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do we like Max Christie? Like a 2.5, 3?
That's yeah, 3. Maybe since it's a good day, I'll say 4, but I don't know if I love it.
Model likes him like a 7 or 8 though. So
yeah.
I don't know. Flip a coin again. I just feel like there's better options. He got the minutes yesterday because Clay was out. If Clay ends up out, then yeah, we can get to more Max Christie because of minutes. Like those are his minutes. You know, he's going to take. But with Clay in, he has to come in and hit a bunch of threes. If he doesn't do that, he's not going to play enough minutes to produce value. And so I think he's overowned, but model likes him. But keep in mind too, the model likes a lot of cheap guys today. We really don't have to get to Max Christie. Like if you can build your lineup with only players, not only, but mostly players from this list right here, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, especially the Clippers guys, you could probably pivot off to as well if Kawhi does sit.
Power, you are one of my favorite viewers, man. The hat is fresh, Chuck. The material shines on video. Yeah, I haven't worn this with the green screen. It's kind of cool, though. Go Dodgers. And then Grimes for Philadelphia. Yeah, we'll go to the other side of this Minnesota game. Grimes, man, go ahead. Take it away.
Quinn Grimes, this is the one guy I did not expect to be playing this much in the season, but here we are. Quinn Grimes, I'm not getting much tonight here, but 9% owned, 5% owned, 15-point spread. I wasn't getting there tonight, but he's low owned, so I get if you want to get there. But just a tough spot here against Minnesota for me. Lower total. Did you have a different take here with Grimes?
Nope. Everyone here is just a mix-in for me except for Bona, and the model agrees with that. Like, Bona is the priority here. I'm slightly over the field. I'm not jamming him in. Model had him as like the top center play last time, and we had all those other value centers higher owned than him, and Bona was the one that ended up doing it. Way tougher matchup today, but even with Yabusele in, Bona looks really good. Pretty comfortable getting there. And yeah, I mean, Grimes, I'm okay mixing him in. I want exposure to him, but I don't want to go overboard. I think he tricked us a little bit, man. Like Denny and Giddey have kept doing it. Grimes fell off. I finally got on board and he went back to being what he's supposed to be. Lonnie Walker off the bench. Any interest there?
So he didn't he tweak his ankle last game? He should be good to go here, but I was not getting very much off the bench here. So I mean, he does come off the bench here once again.
And then Doughton and Alex Reese are both inactive. I don't know if we had them for a couple minutes. Remember, if guys are projected for less than 10 minutes, they don't show up on here. So it's possible we had them for a few minutes. Refresh real quick, see if they go to anywhere else. I don't think that really changes much, though. I mean, maybe an extra minute or two for Jared Butler. maybe a guy like Justin Edwards could get a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, I'd probably just spread around the minutes, put those guys out, just all around those guys.
So the model's not really into anyone else but Bona. Were you looking at anyone beyond the model?
Um, Not really. I mean, Yabu, he's 5,400, but he's somewhat owned, so I'd maybe say Yabu is like a second piece to go like with Bona, but not much here.
Yeah, I got about 5% of Yabu, so I don't mind it. And then looking over at my FanDuel lineups, I actually did get more Quentin Grimes over there. On DK, I'm with this 5%. On FanDuel, I got 19% on my first run. So that could be something over on FanDuel. He's a little more useful. More Jared Butler over on FanDuel, too. He actually has a worse value score than he does on DK, but I don't mind mixing in Jared Butler even on DK.
Yeah, 10% owned. Yeah, he's fun to mix in.
Small forward, 3,400. Wasn't there a small forward that was exactly 3,400?
No, but there's Jalen Wells.
Max Christie, yeah, the guy we were just talking about and told you not to play. But Max Christie, he is model approved if you want that 3,400. Jalen Wells is 3,100. I'm okay leaving $300 on the table. It's not a big deal today. Maybe you can do something with it later anyway. And Tyler Harrow just got ruled out, so that's cool.
Perfect.
I'm going to wait a second to start that next game, but I don't know. Any other cheap guys on this list? Nikhil, if you can find the extra 200. Ronald Holland is 3,400, but I don't know if we have to go that deep. I guess I could have mentioned him alongside Fontecchio.
Yeah, I mean, Holland and Fontecchio should see a minute uptick, but I don't know if it's enough for me to get to them in DFS.
Like, we have Holland projected for 18 minutes, not really good value score. And even if you gave him like 24 minutes, it's still not great, but they are there. Power, he'll say it for you, man. Hell no, I'm not playing no damn Lonnie. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yabu or Santi? I guess we didn't really talk about Santi too much when we were on Memphis, but he does project for strong value on DraftKings. He's fine on FanDuel, 5,400, 29% ownership. Didn't notice he was pulling that much. I know I was getting there. I didn't know the field was, though. Did you have an answer for this?
I think definitely Santi for me, if I had to pick one for sure.
Model has Yabusele on DK, 11.3 DK value, Santi at 13.4. So this one's a little more than a coin flip. It is Santi at the exact same price. I'll just mention, Yabusele's ownership is a decent chunk lower, but even with that, he's still 12%. If he was like 2%, that'd be a different story. I think we're just going to go with the model here and say Santi.
Yep.
Larson season? Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes. I've been playing 30+% of this guy every day, and it's mostly worked out. We're going to hope it works out again today. Remember, we like guards in this matchup.
It's a good spot for him to hit threes for sure.
Yeah, and Jose, who do we click now? Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, too. Yeah, both. I'll be interested in playing both. Aldama or Hardaway for a GPP? It's so I love these questions that like a couple weeks ago I would have been like, huh? But no, that makes sense. It just depends what you can do with the price. They're kind of a different price ranges, right? Did you have a different answer?
To me, it's definitely Aldama, but I also have not been playing Hardaway, and he's been nuking me, so maybe it's a little bit closer than I think it should be.
Yeah, I'm going to do the safe thing and just go with the model because the model has Hardaway quite a bit ahead of Aldama, but he's also 900 cheaper. So if you can do something with that 900, he's half the ownership of Aldama too. He's probably more volatile because think about the way that Santi gets his fantasy points, scoring and rebounds, maybe some of the other stuff. Tim Hardaway really just has to hit a bunch of threes. And so Tim Hardaway could probably help your lineup more if he does it, but I don't know. You guys see the numbers here. Tim Hardaway 15.8, Santi 13.4. OF index, Santi only 0.1 higher. Slow-mo. Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes and see the Heat's model update, but Kyle Anderson, I've actually been getting exposure to him most days, so he's probably going to be in there today on a 4-gamer. Larson, a really good play without Harrow. Maybe I overstated how much of a boost he gets because I don't know that he's the type of guy that's going to come out and just start taking 20 shots and fill in that usage. That's going to be other guys on the team, but he should get more usage. He's not going to step in and like take 15 ISO shots like Harrow is.
Yeah,
holding out for a Harrow till the morning light.
There we go.
I didn't catch that one. Sorry, man.
I didn't get it either. I just lost.
Can we play Mitchell and Larson together? Assuming Davion Mitchell continues to come off the bench, I'm pretty sure I have no problem with it. Jayhawk, can you talk about Milwaukee while I look into that, actually?
Yeah, for sure. So besides Giannis, because you guys don't want to hear the same statement, one of the top plays on the site here. Um, Not much I was getting to here. I saw someone mention Torian Prince. He looks okay in the model, 7% owned. You can get to him in tournaments, but it's mainly just Giannis for me. Ryan Rollins, 9% owned. He's coming off a really bad game here, but 10% owned. He does have a ceiling. Um, so I'd be fine mixing him in, but mainly just Giannis here for me from Milwaukee.
Yeah, for me, I mean, yeah, that's a player I'm getting the most. He's one of my highest exposed players on the whole slate. Single digit exposure to everyone else. I've been talking about Ryan Rollins versus KPJ. The model's always going to have Ryan Rollins higher, but we know that KPJ has a higher ceiling. It's the minutes break the right way. KPJ 18 and a half, Ryan Rollins 28. For the most part, we trust this. We're going to go with this, but I have the same exposure to both players, Ryan Rollins and KPJ, 9% of both. And I'm okay with that. I would set a rule max one because they will probably only be closing with one of those guys. And then shots on Kuz.
I didn't mention him. I think he's fine. I prefer other mid-tier guys overall on the site, but if you're not getting the Giannis, I think I'd definitely be more inclined to get the Kuz.
Yeah, it's a 4-gamer. I have a few percent, not with the 11%, but he is in there. And then Brook Lopez and Torian both project out as elite value on DraftKings. Pretty much elite value on FanDuel, too. I don't mind getting to... It's like usually I'm on board with Brook Lopez more. I'll have to see what my ownership is for all my centers after I rerun, but I'm kind of interested in Torian Prince. 7% ownership, 14, projected for 31. Model likes him. I think this is a guy that we can pivot to.
Yeah, definitely model approved. I might have to bump him a little bit. Not a great matchup, but he's okay at his price for sure.
I mentioned that Jamison Battle has been costing me massive, massive amounts of dozens of dollars lately. And Gary Trent, kind of the same thing. He keeps ending up in my best lineups, and I hate it. Model says he is not that great today. Maybe if someone gets ruled out, he'll get a bump. But he's projected for 4% ownership. It's a 4-game slate. Again, we're not ignoring anybody, but single-digit value is not good. Anything else on Milwaukee?
No, you mentioned Kevin Porter. I think he'd be the last guy to get through here.
Okay. And then Miami. And I'm assuming Ryan Rollins is starting. If for some reason they started KPJ, then we're all over KPJ.
Yep, for sure.
So Tyler Harrow is out. I don't know how long it's going to take for the model update. We have a few minutes here. See if there's another question in the chat. Oh, as for playing Mitchell and Larson together, so in the previous game with Harrow in, this could change, but they did share the court for more than enough minutes that I'm very comfortable playing them both together. They both closed. They played the last 8 minutes of the game together, and then they shared the court for about 4 or 5 minutes in the first half together. So Davion played 37 off the bench. Pele only played 23 in that last game. I'm hoping those extra minutes could just go to Tyler Harrow because the other options are Duncan Robinson, who played 11. Alec Burks started. So Alec Burks got that Kevin Love treatment, started the game, played 7-8 minutes, did not check back in until the second half, played 8 minutes, and then never came back in again for the rest of the game. Alec Burks, is that a guy that we can maybe take some deep shots on if no one wants to take the risk?
I like him, but I've been pretty fond of him. I mean, assuming he does play 25 like the model has here, I like him a lot as an ownership and at his ownership, and I think, definitely want to mix him in. But I mean, it's still this bullshit rotation, so you just never know with their potential minutes here.
Yeah, and then Khalil Ware played 35. We love to see that. Khalil Ware's model approved. I imagine these numbers go up after Harrow gets taken out of here, but at 62, 6,100, this is probably appropriate ownership. I'd expect it to come up even a little bit more, but that seems fine. I don't know if we can project him for any more than the 30. Just I don't love centers against Milwaukee, so I'd probably keep it here, but even at that, he's elite. And then who else gets minutes? Because Davion played 37 off the bench. Haywood Highsmith played 26. Kyle Anderson played 20.
Mm-hmm. Duncan Robinson's okay. I see a lot of people putting him in chat. I don't love him. I mean, he's cheap, but he should get minutes here. I'd much prefer getting to Bergs in my opinion, but that's just me.
So with Duncan Robinson, this is for sure going against a model if you play him. I mean, maybe he ends up elite after Harrow's out of here. I don't know. If he ends up starting and the field doesn't want to get there because he's been terrible, I'm definitely going to take shots on him because this is the type of streaky player that we want to play. Like him versus Tim Hardaway, what's the difference? If they're hot, they'll stay on the court. If they're not, I guess he hit 2 threes, still only played 11 minutes.
Yeah, the minutes would concern me too.
I don't know. I mean, he's a punt that I'm comfortable getting to, even if the model is going to tell us not to.
Definitely would feel more comfortable than probably Chrissy now with Duncan, right? With Hero out.
I'll play Duncan Robinson over Max Christie.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'll take that. I'll take
Let's
that
go.
pivot. That's a nice call. Sorry about that, fellas. Sar Thompson, Landon. Nobody gets your humor. I usually take pride in like getting these jokes. I'm sorry I missed that one, man. You keep getting Max Christie last man in. I mean, it's the last game. I don't know that there's a swap that makes sense off Christie, but if he's your last man in, he is model approved. I don't know. I think the minutes are a little bit high. How does Rozier look today? Interesting. We had him projected for less than 10 minutes until Tyler Harrow got ruled out. So I don't know if we're going to get this model update before the stream ends, fellas. Jayhawk, you're in the Q&A today, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be in Q&A following the stream here.
Yeah, instructions to join the Discord. They're in the description below. I know we only have a week left in regular season, but we got the playoffs coming up too, and you get access to the Discord for all our sports anyway. Or if you want to see the model updates after the stream ends, make sure you sign up for OccupyFantasy.com. We have plans starting as little as $7 a week. It's $1 a day and gets you access to the plugs for all the sports we offer them for, the model for all the sports we offer them for. It's pretty good value. You don't like Holland and no Harris, but you like Asar. I mean, that's definitely the main option we're going with. Everyone else is the pivot because Asar is the only one that has the potential to play 30 plus minutes. It's a song by Bonnie Tyler. I'm even more disappointed, dude. Is that a Total Eclipse of the Moon? I'm going to go back and check that out. Thanks for explaining it to me, though.
I think that song's past my time.
Bonnie Tyler. I mean, it's before my time, too. Who's starting for Harrow?
Ooh, Davion, right? For sure. But he's already
I,
starting, right?
I don't know. He's been playing 37 off the bench.
Oh, wow.
They might want to keep that. I would guess Duncan, but I'm not confident in that guess. I just assuming they want to keep the same kind of vibe going with getting Davion off the bench. But Wiggins is out too, so maybe they just want their best players in the starting lineup. I don't know.
Yeah,
That one's a tough.
Yeah, Duncan, for sure. I like that.
I think we're just gonna have to wait till the starting lineup, and it's not like we're gonna be stuck with whatever we have. There should be enough options that we can make some easy pivots. Who's gonna shoot for them? For Miami? I don't know, dude. Alec Burks could put up 12 threes today. We'll have to see how many he makes.
Pele Larson, 3-point king.
Is Pele Larson going to take 20 shots today? There's no way.
Not that many, but
1, 3, 9, 13, 11. Like, if Pele Larson takes 13 shots today, I'll consider that a huge win. That would be amazing if he took 13. I would bet the under for sure if I could bet on that. If Duran is out, does Jackson get a bump? Who's Jackson?
that's what I was thinking too.
On Memphis? I wouldn't touch anything for that, no. He already looks good, so if you're bumping JJJ anymore, you're just getting an amount that's probably too much.
Yeah, I agree.
And Isaiah Stewart's kind of a scary dude on the other side, so I don't know if it affects the defense much. Jayhawk, the people are asking what's your low and play.
Oh, man, this is gonna have to be play for Discord. I'm not trying to put it behind the paywall here, but I don't have a play for you guys just yet. So hop in Discord. I'll have you guys covered for that one.
Davion ain't a shooter. Davion ain't a shooter. I mean, not really. He's taking 5, 6 threes a game. I don't know that we're going to see him come out and take 10, 12, but this is enough. If he's putting up the rest of the stats, I'm fine with this. The minutes are the main thing. He's on the court every game.
Yeah, love Davion today.
Appreciate you, Carmen. Bam. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get to Bam more. I'm waiting to see the model update for what we think about Miami, so we can. I thought we were going to get out of here early. We hit our time already. Like Tyler Harrow's still in here at 19. I think we'll wait 2 minutes. Jayhawk, you cool with that to see if we get that update?
For sure.
And Jalen Duran got ruled out, so pay attention to the starting lineup. I don't know. Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
If Isaiah Stewart starts, we're probably just going to have to go there. Who else is even on the team though besides Paul Reed?
I can answer that.
I think Fontecchio becomes a little bit better now with Duran out, so maybe the model is going to give him a bunch of minutes and we can get there a little bit more. but I think that's the deep guy that I would consider here. Isaiah Stewart was already showing up as good value. We're going to give him a few more minutes, and he's going to show up really strong. I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he should be the top center play. He might even be better than Edie now at 3,300.
I don't think he's better than Edie. The thing is, I still think Isaiah Stewart has a potential to get benched. I don't see him running out 30+ minutes. We'll see what the model thinks though. Get there. Timberwolves starting lineup is normal. RotoWire has Davion Mitchell starting. I guess that probably makes more sense than Duncan. Whoever it is, we're gonna like. Is Jaime dressed? Oh, we forget about Jaime Jaquez, man.
3K flat, man. Has he been playing? Yeah.
Nope. Guy's played like 30 total minutes over the last 6 games. I don't know why. I thought he was doing well, and then 2, 24, 2, 4, 6. Like with Harrow out, he has a potential to play 20+ minutes for sure. He's the flat min. I wonder if he gets forgotten. He's not showing up here. I didn't see anything about him being out. We could probably play some Jaime Jaquez as a pivot. I'm not expecting him to start. If he does start, he's one of the better plays on the slate at min price.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't getting there, but he could project better. We'll have to see.
Stewart is without a doubt the best play on the slate. I have my doubts. I for sure have my doubts because if we're looking at pricing whatever, Stewart would not be in the top 50 basketball players on this slate in terms of skill, and that doesn't always matter for DFS. But where's Isaiah Stewart? 13.9 DK value. Either way, his minutes are going to go up by like 5 or 6. This is going to shoot up to like one of the top values. He's a good play. I'm not going to declare him as the best play on the slate. And should you get to Edie with Duran out? I don't think it affects Edie that much. Like I said, Isaiah Stewart's still a lot to handle. Zach Edie's probably going to love banging with Isaiah Stewart tonight.
Yeah, I still think Edie's a great play. I think they're both awesome.
He's 3.3K and will project for 30 DK. I don't think he's going to project for 30. That seems so high. Let me see. I don't think we're going to have that model update before we get out of here, fellas, but Jayhawk will have you covered. We did get Tyler Harrow out of here. These minutes are very rough projections right now, so just take this directionally. No one stood out as super value. Khalil Ware is elite. Davion Mitchell, borderline elite. Pelle Larson, pretty strong play at the ownership for sure. Kyle Anderson, I guess we can mix in. And then Bam's way down here, but it makes sense. Makes sense to play more Bam with Harrow out.
For sure. Good price point. Matchup, I guess, okay here for Bam as well.
Duran out helps Asar Thompson. Yeah, Asar should be locked in for a couple more minutes too. I'd be more interested in getting more Asar than the other guys. And like I'm talking about Isaiah Stewart. I'm still playing a ton of Isaiah Stewart, I'm sure. I'm not convinced that he's the guy that we like play 70-80% of today. You're more concerned about him getting ejected than benched. I mean, if he's going to be battling with Zach Edey, they're going to get in a fight. But I don't know, Jayhawk, one last look at Detroit.
Let's do it.
It's an important update, Jalen Duran. Yeah, we're not going to get him out of here. 22 minutes. There were a couple changes in here. Isaiah Stewart's already up to 15.8. So, T-Eds, I don't know, man. We'll see you tomorrow then, old Chucky. We'll see, man. Model like Stewart. I'm not going to tell you not to play him. We'll see what the ownership comes up to. If it doesn't come up, then yeah, he might be the best. He might be one of the better plays on the slate. This is already only at 21 minutes. He's already up here. I don't know. I'll let Jayhawk tell you guys what to do with him in the Q&A, but truly appreciate you guys watching today. We'll be back tomorrow. And then just real quick, last question. Harden or Ant? Model has Harden, assuming Kawhi's out. So